Hey guys, in today's episode, we listen to some more voicemails from our league mates, and then we take a look at the playoff picture going into Week 13.
Welcome to the Coach and Commish podcast. No, not Adam Gase, and definitely not Roger Goodell. It's Chris and Sean breaking down fantasy football for the everyday man.
Welcome back. You're here with the Coach and Commish. I'm Chris, this is Sean, and today we're jumping in our 757 podcast, and we're going to listen to some voicemails. It was a crazy Week 12.
Crazy.
I owe you Qdoba.
That's true.
By 0.4.
Yeah. Thank you, Lockett, for at least securing that.
And
Nothing in the second half.
People not in our league, it wasn't like some 120 to 120.4 game. No, it had to be the worst game from both teams.
Yep.
It's like we didn't want to win it. We just wanted to lose. So I owe Sean some Qdoba. That goes down for our bet last week. But we're going to listen to...
a quick clarification on our other bet.
Yes.
I did not clarify, so I'm going to leave this up to you. Is our Rashad Bateman, Marquise Brown a per game bet, or is it rest of season injury not included?
No, I think it was not injury not included.
So
like for rest of season. If they're out a game or two, I mean, I guess we average
that's why I
out.
said you could do the per game average.
Per game? Okay. Let's go, shoot. Per game would be fair. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't do anything
that way in
with
case
injuries.
someone does get hurt.
Oh,
man.
Oh, there we go. Back to the light.
That way in case somebody does get hurt, then you have you're just averaging it. So.
No, it's per game. It's still a water bet at my bachelor
Yeah, I would
party.
say
right?
Yep. And right now, I think it's like 5 points to 6 points or something.
Yeah. Once we made the bet, like nobody wanted to play.
Yep.
Or the quarterback didn't want to throw.
All right, well, let's jump right into a Morgan voicemail here. This is a wild card. I don't know what it's going to be about.
So it is week 12. I'm playing up against Big Andy.
Big Andy.
It's been a full circle because we played each other week 1, and I was ahead by like 15 points. And Sean was like, don't worry, you got this. Monday Night Football, Josh Jacobs, who was already banged up, came out to play, got hurt halfway through the game, all of a sudden ends up with 16 points to beat me by less than a point. Still stings, but we're playing each other again. I mean, and his team looks rock solid. He's got Saquon Barkley, James Robinson, two very good running backs. Somehow Saquon only ended up with 7 and James Robinson with 11. I know both of them probably could have gone off for 20, so I'm pretty lucky on that one. And he had Deontay Johnson, Brandon Cooks, both those did pretty good. Kyle Pitts didn't help him that much with 3 points, so, it just is what it is. Thank goodness for Elijah Mitchell, Big Debo, and Austin Knox with the 2 touchdowns during Thanksgiving, man. Just appreciate that very much. It really helped give me the victory this week. So
You better talk
feeling
about
pretty
Waddle.
fortunate, pretty blessed. This next week I'm going up against Big Chris. Yeah, the guy who traded for waiver wire pickups. We know him. I don't know. Big Chris and I are going to have to decide like a bet for Qdoba or something.
Okay.
For this, maybe Rashad Bateman can help him out or something. But looking forward to the game this week. So I'm cheap. I end up going to the Dolphins game somehow. We got some cheap tickets, like $24 a piece. Feeling blessed. But here's the situation. I have to pick a wide receiver. I need to play either a Scary Terry or Jalen Waddle. And a gut feeling, I'm like, you got to play Waddle. You got to. But I'm like, everyone knows that you got to play Scary Terry. So I ended up picking Scary Terry. And I go to the game. I'm not even in the arena yet. This man's already got 3 points. And I get there, and friggin' in the first quarter, he's got 12. I'm over there like, yes, oh my God. He's on my bench. I'm at halftime, and this man's got over 20 points. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, Waddle. Oh my God. Just knife to the heart. I'm still recovering. Like, if you ever go to a sports game, play the person that you have. Don't put them on your bench because they'll make you pay.
So he didn't put him in, and apparently it did not make his game experience as amazing as it could have been because Waddle just went off. I think he was wide receiver 1 this week. But
Waddle's amazing. We talked about it right before recording. Him and Tua look like having a bright future in Miami.
Yep.
And Waddle can do it all. He's just not a speed demon. And, you look in at the Captain Morgan here. I wish he went back to that name. But, I mean, he got lucky there. Jalen Hurts only getting 6 points. He had some big point guys there, but I feel like he's got a...
The 49ers saved him.
I would take I would say, in his words, Big Terry out and put in Big Waddle.
Yeah,
at that flex.
I think it might be time, Morgan.
Might be time, but that was a key matchup there in Week 12, and Morgan, we'll put a bet down, man. We put some big Qdoba, something.
We're gonna have a party where Chris takes us all out together.
Yeah, right. Losing. I'm gonna be flashing my credit card at dinner with all these things I keep losing. But yeah, let's see that. Let's see if the guy that trades for a waiver wire whoops you this week. Now, keep Jalen Waddle on the bench. All right.
Sweet revenge for Chris there. All right. So yeah, the other thing we got going on is why don't you explain what our playoff picture kind of is looking like going into this? Like
our playoff picture, it's a lock, really, on guys who are making it 1 through 5. Right, 1 through 5 will kind of change up who's there, but you got Phil, you got Morgan, Leroyce, Sean over here, and even Tim. So those 5 are pretty much a lock all the way in for the playoff spot. What order it might be, it's 2 through 5 can change because they're all 15 and 9.
All of our records are the same.
And at 6th place, it's right now down to a point total. Soul Juice himself is sitting there at 6 because of the points 4, because there's 3 teams tied at 10 and 14. And the best they can do is finish 500 and go in there. And even if I beat you this last week, for some stupid reason, I could have been in the mix.
That's true.
For number 6. I believe I know I'm out at 12, so I'm getting ready for that loser bracket championship game.
Playing for that first pick.
But 7 through 11, because the Meat Prince is 8 and 16. Mike's still in at 9-15. Joe at 9 and 15. They have 3 teams at 10 and 14. I think this really comes down to who's got the healthier lineup going into these last 2 weeks.
We'll see. The Kalana brothers are going to be fighting it out to get into that last spot, and that's where our next voicemails are going to go. We're going to start with Daniel here. He's got some things to say.
Ooh, the accountant.
Yes, the accountant.
Hey, guys. I'm looking at the matchups and the standings, and I don't know if anyone is actually eliminated yet. 5 of the playoff spots are clinched.
Could be a possibility.
And everyone seems to either be tied or in position for the, quote, wild card, or tied for the 2nd seed. So this season is going to come to an end quick, and we'll see how it all shakes out. I think I'm in a good position. I've been holding on to Jamal Williams all year, and Swift is looking to be hurt for a little bit, so it's finally my time to shine. But of the 3 of us, of David, Andy, and myself, I honestly think Andy probably has the best push, but David's team is starting to get healthy, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm hoping that my team can push it through, and I can take down Tim and Leroyce in back-to-back weeks and hopefully secure a playoff berth for the 2nd year in a row.
So, yeah, Daniel there, he's confident in his team, but he, to me, might have the hardest schedule. I haven't seen the other schedules yet, but he gets to play Leroyce and Tim. That's not that great. There's 2 people that are fighting for that number 2 spot and try to get that bye.
Yeah, I'm looking at squads here. Yeah, Soul Juice is set up the best with his roster of making a move, but Matthew Stafford's been a stinker.
Yep.
And that's really hurt him, right? And who knows, will DeAndre actually show up next week being on this IR? That soft tissue injury can really hurt him. David, when you start in 2 Dallas running backs, right? Because you're not they did pretty well this past week. Zeke Elliott's got to get healthy.
Yeah.
They're really snap counting him, so that's hurting your playoff production. And Chase Claypool has the aging quarterback in Roethlisberger. That is hurting him the most. So those are that's what I think about those teams right now.
All right, and then our next guy that we have to hear from would be his brother, who's one of the other ones pushing to try to get that. So we got a voicemail here from David, and we'll hear what David has to say.
Hello, Coach and the commish. It is great to be a part of your show. First, want to say that it was a joy playing football with the commish over Thanksgiving weekend. I was under the assumption that the coach would join us, but apparently he only has one working limb at this time, which I feel is a pretty poor excuse, but would have been great to have him out there. Anyway, I really can't believe that I'm even a part of the playoff push conversation. I have finished dead last in our league 4 different weeks. Not bottom half where I missed out on the median win, like dead last, like Sleeper gave me the toilet bowl trophy. So I am ecstatic to even be possible for me to make it into the playoffs. Really need to beat Mike this week. I'm glad I get to play him when Nick Chubb is on his bye, so that's helpful. Not happy that I missed Mahomes being on his bye by a week, but, we got to win some to make it into the playoffs. I'm really hoping that Sean and Tim can come through on their matchups to try to get that bye week. You guys need to fight for the week off. It's an important way to win the championship. That's why I won last year. I had the first week bye, and a week I would have lost, I was able to skip it and then won the next 2 weeks. So really hopeful to see Tim and Sean pull out their victories against Andy and Daniel so that I can limp into the playoffs in the season. I don't deserve to be there because we all know once you get to the playoffs, anything is possible. So good luck to Sean and Tim this week.
Well, thanks, David, giving your championship advice there.
Yeah.
Speaking about his ring, I mean, it's pretty good advice to listen to.
It is. And if I can make it happen, I absolutely will, David. I'm going to try my hardest to make it to that second spot. That bye week, I think, is very important, especially I've got Dalvin Cook here. We were talking about it. I'd almost rather him just go down for the season, take the IR, and play Madison, because when you have that player who's kind of in, kind of out, kind of like he's dealing with Zeke, it can really hurt your roster. So, especially somebody like a shoulder injury, that's a very easy thing to aggravate, and then he comes out of the game and I get 1 point or something like that. So, we'll see. I'm gonna play all my players, David. Don't worry. I'm gonna try my hardest. And then, let's see. So his matchup here with your brother, I think he's got a great matchup this week. Like he said, no Chubb. That's going to help a lot. I think you've got a really good shot of winning that game.
Yeah,
So
the only thing that could trip you up, David, and this is what happened when I played my brother, is if Mahomes goes for 50. That's the thing. If Mahomes goes explosive, that's the only hope Mike has right now with Nick Chubb on a bye. Thielen catches his touchdowns. That's about it. The rest of the team I'm not scared of right now. I am scared of Mahomes getting 50.
yeah, and you have the best schedule, I think, leading into the playoffs. So it's there for the taking. He gets to play your brother this week, and then he plays the Meat Prince in the last week before the playoffs. So
Take advantage of that matchup.
you can limp your way there. You can do
Yes.
it. We'll see if the reigning champ can continue that. All right, and speaking of champs, the favorite right now,
Yes,
I
sir.
was able to get a voicemail in last minute here on the show. So
It
let's
was a live call on the show.
Yeah, it was. He literally just called, left me a voicemail, and we're going to listen to see what Phil has to say, Mr. Sitting Pretty on Top of the Mountain.
Yes, sir.
Boston Massacre here. By the way, while the team name's a little iffy, definitely not too early based on how I've been running through my schedule, with the exception of David and Leroyce, of course. So, shout out to you guys
Running
for keeping
through
me
his
humble.
schedule?
Kittles and bits is on the clock, but honestly, it's been really nice not to stress about fantasy football for the final stretch of the season and watch the rest of the league play out for these final playoff spots. However, I know when the playoff starts, doesn't matter how good your team was in the regular season. As most people know, I had one of the best teams in league history and lost to one player. And that player is Todd Gurley. No, not the coach.
Bam.
Simply Todd Gurley.
3 titles, baby.
Well, best of luck to all those fighting for the last spots. Definitely have my popcorn ready to watch. Stress-free fantasy football. See ya.
Hey, that's some good trash talk. When you're 21-3, you
Yeah.
can sit back. You can.
I think he's only lost one matchup, too, right?
Yeah, he can. He's got
Or two now, yep.
Swift on. Probably not going to play this week. He ain't stressing.
Yep.
He's not stressing at all. He might leave James.
He doesn't got to worry about a game for another 4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, guy's rostering 3 defenses right now. That's how good he is.
Getting ready.
He'll play for the extra point stuff down at the end of who's got the best playoff schedule defensively. That's a nice thing to do.
Also sitting pretty with 100 fab here, too, that he might spend on a running back this week.
I think his name is Chupa Chupa.
No, shh. No.
Yeah, he knows.
This will release after, and he'll already have him on his team. So.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so that's it, man. We got some great fight down here for the 6th spot. I can't wait to see every stressful message in the chat.
I'm just so glad that I have the playoffs locked up, to be honest with you. I want that second seed badly, but let me tell you, kind of like he just said, it feels really good to have that locked and not be in David, Daniel, and Andy's position right now.
Those guys are losing sleep
Yep.
as we speak. All right, guys. Well, I think that's all we have for local podcast. Commish, you got anything?
No, I think that's it. Keep the voicemails coming, guys. It's been fun. And yeah, I think we got to hear from a few people we didn't this week. So next week, who do we got left to hear from here? Haven't heard from Andy.
Mike.
Haven't heard from Mike, and haven't heard from the Meat Prince. So I think you three need to get on here for the
Send
next
us a
week.
voicemail next week, guys.
All right.
Alrighty,
See you guys. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Coach and Commish podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Coach and Commish. And join our Facebook group called Fantasy Football Advice with the Coach and Commish for direct access to weekly waiver wire and start sit advice.